Hey YouTube, Zealous Talon here, and today is the final part of the Skylanders Spyro's Adventure reviews with the Adventure Packs. The Adventure Packs basically bestowed upon you an extra level for the game and then came with a couple of items to help your Skylanders as well as a Skylander. So, getting started because there's a lot to cover. There's Darklight Crypt to begin. Darklight Crypt came with Ghost Roaster towards the launch of the game. As you can see, it's basically a crypt or mausoleum, molded mainly in this dark brown plastic with a gray wash to bring out the cracks. Some nicely painted open doors with a staircase going up in there. The skull is nice because it kind of mirrors Ghost Roaster with the horns and the fangs. And then there's a nice wash over there to bring out the bone texture. And the wings themselves are very kind of tattered and spooky looking. You've got kind of this fence even around the backside. There's a bunch of detail, and this little fence is kind of made out of a more rubbery plastic. Just really, really cool. A really good start to the adventure packs along with the Pirate Seas. These are really the two best ones in my opinion. So that one's just awesome. I love Darklight Crypt. Items for the set included the Time Twister, which is obviously an hourglass. It's in gold with some red highlights and detailing up at the top. I wish there had been some sort of sand, plastic, like a yellow piece of plastic inside of the hourglass to look like sand, but there isn't. However, the actual glass is clear, and just kind of gives it some nice little detail for what it is. None of these are really anything too spectacular, but they are quite nice for what they are. The healing elixir is also very basic. It's just a clear blue bottle with a painted cork up top and then a little emblem with an ankh on there. So the Time Twister slows down your enemies for a certain duration, and then this will heal your Skylanders for a certain duration should they take damage. Almost all of these work on a timer, and the timer can basically be canceled if you pull the item off early, but it doesn't restore any time. You just have X amount of time where this is going to work during the level, so you kind of have to remove and place the item judiciously however you need. Next up is Pirate Seas, which came with Terrafin. My main mast is bent, I'll get that right out of the way. However, this is a very awesome looking pirate ship. It's easily the biggest of the level items, as it's just as tall as any of the others, but it's this long pirate ship. And you just have this awesome sculpted wood detail all over the thing. The anchors are painted, and then you've got this really nice gold trim with some black detailing in there. You can see all the windows for the crew cab at the stern of the ship. And then at the bow you have this, figure that looks like a pirate's head because it's got an eye patch, and then on the sail is painted, a face with some cutlasses. All the cannons are molded in a softer black plastic, as are these little fin bits and the tail and the bow thing. But very, very cool, and I like the water detailing at the bottom of it. Easily my favorite of them all. Then we've got the Hidden Treasure is one of the items that comes with this. This is the only one to not work on a timer. Basically, there's just a few hidden treasures that this will unlock in each level, and then as you get closer to them, it alerts you, and then you find it. There's some nice gold coins painted inside. The chest itself is brown with some bronze detailing for the metal bands that hold it together, as well as the dragon wings, and then the dragon head itself has some blue eyes, which are very nice. The ghost swords are summoned for, a duration, as usual. These will track down and kill the enemies in the area. One's blue, one's gold, but they have completely different sculpts for the hand guards, which is very nice, and then the blades are very sort of chipped and weathered, which gives a nice effect to these. I do kind of dig it, even though they're very simple. Empire of Ice came out around, I think, March of 2012 with Slam Bam. So this is very different from the other ones in that instead of being very drab colors or, brownish, it's blue, like clear blue with white paint to look like snow. So it looks like ice and snow, very similar to Slam Bam's color scheme. Now you've got this snowed over bridge going across the frozen waterfall. big old igloo up top that for some reason looks like it has a pig nose, but I don't know why. And then as you come around, you see even more on the back. It looks like snow hanging down and icicles. It really gets the theme across really well. I do appreciate that, and it is just a nice little standout among the others. One of the items was Anvil Rain, which brings down a hail of anvils onto your enemies. It's just a silver molded anvil with a lot of chips and dings in it for some nice detail, and then you've got these runes on either side, as well as the front base just below the horn. Those are all painted with gold, which just, it looks pretty spiffy, as simple as it is, much like the ghost swords. Just really good for what it is. And then there's the Sky Iron Shield with some nice little painted grips or straps on the back. Really chipped and weathered as usual for these items. And then you've got this blue face with the yellow kind of bird-like emblem, somewhat reminds me of the Hylian shield. And then you've got little red raised detail bits around the face of it. So really kind of neat looking as well. This will protect your Skylanders from damage or something like that for as long as it's active. And lastly is Dragon's Peak. This came with Sunburn, I believe, around April of 2012. So it's mostly in this kind of tarnished gold color. The sort of tarnished effect comes from a wash done over it. Then you've got this little grotto at the bottom with a clear blue piece for the pond. And then some stairs leading up in the background. Then you've got this stairwell that starts as a dragon's tail, winds all the way up around the back of it through this hole. And you could basically walk out of the mouth and stand on the dragon's tongue if you wanted, which is a nice little bit of sculpture in there. Some green eyes. Really not a lot of color variety in there. I wish there was a bit more, but the detail is just exquisite. I like these little block-like bits here that look like a dragon's scoots. It's just really nifty. Really, really, really well detailed. Items for that one were the winged shoes, which let your Skylanders move faster for a brief amount of time. So you've just got this brown leather shoe with some lighter brown for like the sole and the tongue of the boot. And then these wings are white, but they're airbrushed with a lighter blue, so that they're not like too plain. And it comes off looking again, all of these items are very simple, but they all look really well for what they are. I do dig the look of it, even if I had pretty much never used these. And finally is Sparks the Dragonfly. He was a character from the Spyro games, I believe. But basically what he does is he just follows you around and then pretty much attacks any enemies kind of in your area. So he's kind of this lightish, kind of almost gold for the most part, with, you know, some eyes, and his little mouth is painted. He's smiling kind of maniacally. And he's got these brown stripes, almost like a bee, even though he's a dragonfly. And then his wings are in really nice clear blue, with some veins molded in there. He's rather well detailed. For what he is, he's really cool. Alright, so that's been a quick look at the adventure packs. I wish I could spend more time on them, but it's just not in the cards. I highly recommend getting all these. You get Skylanders for your collection, and you get some levels to expand on the game. This has been Zealous Talon, finishing up Spyro's adventure. Thanks a lot.